4 years after dinosaurs have been released on the central area, people have needed to conform to their presence. The mosasaurus is seen pulling a fishing boat down in the wake of snatching its enclosure of fish with its jaws. Many individuals have passed on from dino-related episodes, and keeping in mind that many figure the ancient creatures ought to be undeniably killed off, others have tracked down a way in the underground market to sell and convey caught all of ancient creatures unlawfully. The public authority gives control to Bioswine Hereditary Qualities, an organization drove by Louis Dodson, Campbell Scott, with the guarantee to keep the dinosaurs held at a safe haven in Italy's Dolomite Mountains to additional examination them for drug purposes. News inclusion likewise takes note of that Macy Lockwood, Isabella message, has vanished after her real essence as a clone was disclosed. At an office in Nevada, Claire Dearing, Bryce Dallas Howard, and Zia Rodriguez Daniela Pineda save a child dinosaur from an unlawful rearing site. They join Franklin Webb, Equity Smith, as they get away from in a van. However, safety officers pursue them until the three figure out how to lose them. Franklin and Zia tell Claire they can never again keep this sort of work up, and keeping in mind that they support Claire and her undertakings, they are moving on to occupations that are more secure for them. Some place close to the frigid mountains in Nevada, Owen Grady, Chris Pratt, is riding a pony to fight a huge dinosaurs. After he is finished, he returns to the lodge that he imparts to Claire and Macy, as he and Claire are currently her new parents. In spite of the fact that Macy likes to wander from home and witness the dinosaurs ashore, Claire and Owen attempt to keep her concealed for dread that somebody is after her. This makes her get irritated with them, and she has additionally become inquisitive about Charlotte Lockwood, whom she was cloned from. Adequately sure, hired soldiers drove by Rain Delacote, Scott Dimness, are keeping an eye on them in the forest, Macy being their objective. Not a long way from the lodge, Blue the Raptors has agamically recreated a kid, who Macy later names Beta. They go hunting together. In Texas, two youngsters are pursued by a colossal multitude of grasshoppers. This is brought to the consideration of paleobotanist Ellie Sattler, Laura Dern. She explores the homestead where the beetles went after and gobbled up every one of the yields. Ellie is let by the kids' mom know that the adjoining crops, which were immaculate by the insects, are planted by Bioswine. Ellie reunites with Dr. Alana Ward, Sam Neill, who is working with other yearning scientists. She carries a caught beetle to him and makes sense of the circumstance, expecting that assuming they spread, they might wreck the well-established pecking order. Alan and Ellie figure that Bioswine probably made them, so their yields are that remaining parts. Ellie needs to get DNA from one more insect at the Bioswine asylum and requests Alan's assistance. She was at that point welcomed by their close buddy, Dr. Ian Malcolm, Jeff Goldblum. Regardless of showing some reluctance, Alan eventually consents to join. Back at the lodge, Blue and Beta happen upon Owen, Claire, and Macy. They are undeniably shocked to see Blue has become a mother. The soldiers of fortune before long take their action and catch Beta. Macy rides her bicycle across the extension and is likewise taken by the bad guys. Owen sees this and gets Claire to pursue them. Claire says she realizes who can help them. Claire contacts Franklin, who presently works for the CIA. He assists them with getting data on Delacote and directs them toward Owen's previous colleague at Jurassic World, Barry Sembene, Omar S.Y., who can assist with taking them to any place the hired fighters are taking Macy and Beta. Alan and Ellie show up at the asylum and meet Ramsey Cole, Mamodo Athi, Bioscience head of interchanges. He acquaints them with Dodson, who guarantees they are chipping away at something progressive and historic. Alan and Ellie are accompanied to find Ian giving a talk. A short time later, he goes along with them and circumspectly lets Ellie know that the Beatles are for sure piece of an evil plan by Bioswine. In the meantime, Dodson meets with Dr. Henry W. B.D. Wong, who has since become contrite of his activities in aiding make a big difference for these examinations, as he noticed that the grasshoppers have developed at a disturbing rate. In Maltha, a partner of Dodson's, Sonoya Santos, Dichen Lachman, calls him to say that Macy and Beta have been moved independently to Bioswine HQ. Owen and Claire likewise show up and rejoin with Barry. He carries them to an underground market dinosaur ring, where creatures are being sold, eaten, or compelled to battle. Claire meets Kyla Watts, the Wanda Shrewd, a pilot who flies for the merchants. She cautions Claire about screwing with anybody there, however at last consents to assist Claire with tracking down Macy. As this occurs, Owen and Barry stay stowed away and witness Delacourt meeting with Santos to sneak Atrociraptors. The two go up against and battle Delacourt and his men. Owen orders him to say where Macy and Beta are, and he simply gives him Santos' name before he gets eaten by dinosaurs in the battling ring. Claire battles Santos and discovers that Macy is set out toward Bioswine, and she surpasses a free dinosaur prior to joining Kyla. Barry captures Santos, however not before she sicks one of her dinosaurs on Owen, who is riding a bike to find Claire and Kyla. He figures out how to load onto Kyla's plane similarly as she is preparing to take off with Claire, and Owen utilizes the bike to knock the dino off the incline and into the sea. Macy shows up at HQ and meets W. He clarifies for her that while she is a clone of Charlotte's, she is likewise her genuine girl since she brought forth her. Macy watches video film of Charlotte, Elva Quaver, and sees when she was pregnant with Macy. Charlotte experienced a hereditary infection, yet she figured out how to change Macy's DNA to eliminate all hints of the illness. W trusts that by concentrating on Macy's DNA, he can invert the insect episode by changing their DNA. Alan and Ellie slip into the control space for the Beatles to get a DNA test, similarly as Macy attempts to escape with Beta. Dodson sounds the caution, which makes the insects swarm around Alan and Ellie, however they figure out how to get out securely. They meet Macy, who can say for sure what their identity is. She goes along with them as they run. They are found by Ramsay, who consents to help them since he views Bioswine's work as untrustworthy. He sends them away in a monorail to somewhere safe. Ellie lets Macy know that she knew Charlotte as an understudy, and says she was a splendid and kind individual. In the air, Kyla's plane is gone after by a genuine Quetzalcoatlus, compelling Claire to discharge and fall into the trees after they tear her parachute. Owen and Kyla collide with a close-by ice lake. They endeavor to securely advance across it, however, are pursued by another dinosaur. The two make it across in the nick of time and go to migrate Claire. She gets down from the tree, however needs to unobtrusively dodge a pyroraptor that has been following her in the timberland. Owen and Kyla stow away as the T-Rex shows up to eat, yet she is held off by a Giganotosaurus, a lot bigger hunter. They figure out how to get to Claire. Alan, Ellie, and Macy are clearing their path through sinkholes and find dinosaurs going after, inciting them to run until they make it outside. In the meantime, Ian verbally smacks Dodson around for his activities and Dodson fires him. Ian works with Ramsay to return to Ian's companions. He assists them with getting away from the dinosaurs by liberating them from the fenced-in area. Dodson then, at that point, burns down the beetle lab to annihilate proof. The blazing beetles break free and start flying out from the dark. Alan, Ellie, Ian, and Macy endeavor to surpass a huge dinosaur in a van, however are thumped down a slope. Fortunately, they land close to Owen, Claire, and Kyla, rejoining the previous two with Macy. Claire likewise will meet Ellie while Owen meets Alan. The gathering is then followed by the Giganotosaurus, who nearly gets Macy, yet she gets away. Ian fights it off by tossing a consuming material into its mouth. While the legends work on a break plan, Bioswine begins to catch fire, driving the representatives to escape. Dodson endeavors to snatch his work, and Ramsay lets him know of one final time prior to leaving. Dodson endeavors to move away in the monorail, however is cornered by a triplet of Dilophosaurus, who make a dinner out of him. Beta happens upon the legends and is calmed so they can securely bring her along. They are likewise found by W, who has figured out how to adjust the beetle's DNA to stop the spread. Similarly, as the gathering readies their leave, the Giganotosaurus returns, however is then gotten between the T-Rex and a Therizinosaurus. The people escape to stay away from the dino battle, and it closes when the T-Rex drives the Giganotosaurus into the Therizinosaurus hooks. After getting back to somewhere safe, Alan and Ellie revive their sentiment and later head to Washington, D.C. to affirm against Bioswine. W's work is a triumph and stops the grasshopper spread. Owen, Claire, and Macy get back and rejoin Beta with Blue. Prior to withdrawing once more into the woodland, Blue offers one final look with Owen.